Thank you so much for coming on Qissa podcast, Shahla John.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you on the pod. I actually met you at the Vasa event about 2 weeks ago. I thought it would be great to have you. First of all, I'd like to start this with a bit of an apology because I attempted at stealing your seat.
No, it's okay. It's all good. Yeah. It happens sometimes. It's all good.
Yeah, it's interesting because we've had a story about this in one of the concerts where our seat was actually stolen and we criticized it. It's funny how I attempted at it. But in my defense, I actually thought that was an empty seat.
No, so. It's all good. It's all good.
Speaking of the Vasa event, so the Victorian Afghan Student Association, I noticed you were one of the sponsors there.
Correct. Yep.
And so you had a quick speech. So based on that, I realized you have a different lens to real estate market, and I thought it would be interesting to give you an opportunity so you come and have a chat with us and
Yes. Thank you so much for that opportunity again. And it's all good that you stole my chair. It's all good. It happens sometimes. But again, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here and just have a chat with you guys.
No worries. All good. The Qissa is really a platform to have dialogue for our community, really. So me and Murtaza, when we started this, we felt like there was this lacking of a platform, I guess, in our community. And how our people are very qissai, and I thought we thought that having a platform to create an opportunity for dialogue, for discourse from all walks of life, really, whether it's business people, whether it's entrepreneurs, whether it's health practitioners, community members, or anyone really with a story to tell.
Yep.
So that is with that spirit that we have you, and I noticed that you're relatively new in the real estate market.
That's correct. Yep.
So I guess I just wanted to start with maybe personal journey. Let's start with that. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Tell us maybe a little bit about yourself, where you came from, how long you've been in Australia.
So surprisingly, I haven't been in Australia for that long. I came in 2017. And then obviously I was a minor. I did my studies, finished high school. Really, people think when you go to real estate, you're really a nerd. But in reality, I'm not a nerd. I'm not into obviously doing that type of a job where you're always sitting on a desk and just typing away. I like doing more of physical work, running around, hustling around. So that's mainly the reason I joined real estate. I did change my mind about 200 times about what I want to actually do when I finish my studies. I started as becoming a somebody in the police force, and then wanting to go to doing photography, to then doing teaching, and then to then real estate, and then jumping out of real estate, and then coming back to real estate. So I did have a bit of a journey, but then actually starting and doing it as a full-time job, that's when I realized, it is actually something I like. Because I did give it a shot with other careers. I gave it a shot. I did placements and all of that. It wasn't something that really clicked for me. But then real estate, when I started, it actually did click. And I was just like, you know what? It is a bit of office work and also running around and actually talking to people, communicating. So then there was a balance of both. That's what actually drew me towards real estate. And that the fact that you work for what you earn, it's not set. So the more you succeed, the more you try, the more reward you get. So that's really why I went towards that side, and how I shifted from doing police force to doing real estate to then teaching and all of that. Yeah,
that's a bit of a varying industry, from police force to real estate. Did you actually go to academy for police? Or?
No, I did research for it, but then doing all of that physical tasks wasn't something that I was really interested in. Yeah. I was more interested in, obviously, in the movies when you see they're like looking at little clues or finding exactly what's happening in that scene of accident or whatever. Yeah. That's what kind of dragged me towards that side. But then running around, doing all of that fitness and all of that wasn't something I was interested in. So that's why I shifted away from it. But then, again, in real estate, you are really running around. Yeah. It is a whole exercise for itself the whole day. Yeah. So kind of did get a bit of, best of both worlds, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So you work for the LJ Hooker Dandenong?
Correct.
How long have you been at LJ Hooker?
So I started as a receptionist in July 2023. And then, so they had a position open for receptionist, and I thought that's the best way to actually go back to the industry, because I did do a bit of real estate for 3 months as part-time from school and then work, just to try to see if I actually like it. It was okay, but then I really didn't get to do what an agent does, because it was only once a week that I would go. So I thought doing receptionist would actually give me a bigger image of what real estate actually is, because you're doing all the admin work. You see what actually goes into a listing going live, or obviously a property being sold or being leased. You see the back end, what everybody else doesn't see. So I thought doing a receptionist would actually help me have an idea of what the industry is about. And then that way I had a chat with my manager, Behruz. I told him that I do want to actually move up and not stay as a receptionist forever. That was our deal. And then he actually saw the potential in me that I could actually succeed as an agent. So that's how I moved up into BDM. Because not many agency would actually bring their receptionist into a big role. For example, business development manager, you're managing a whole department. Yeah. So again, that goes a shout out to my obviously agency for letting me do that. And again, helping me grow. So with my role, actually, I can list properties for sale if I do want to.
Right.
Because I have that qualification, and obviously I've got my team to help me actually sell the property or list the property for sale. Don't see myself really shifting fully to that side, but maybe I might do here or there a little bit of sales to see how it feels to actually do that type of work. But for now, I want to actually grow my rental team. I want to obviously bring more listings and actually grow the team, so we could be a bigger team as a rental side rather than sales.
Yep, I think that's a good way of going about it, because it is a very competitive market really for the real estate agents. And I think the gradual way of going about it, and not just in the real estate industry, but every industry that you're in, when you actually go from the beginning and you gradually grow in the role.
Correct.
It's a natural progression, right? As opposed to jumping into a situation where you're probably you're not qualified for it. So I think it's a grassroots level. So I think it's a good way. On that, I actually wanted to sort of maybe dive a bit deeper into that. So how do you see yourself being different to so many other agents? And there is a lot of real estate agents out there. And I guess there is a bit of a criticism from people as well in saying that there is just way too many agents. And we'll get to that in a second. But normally I say, the community is growing, right? So the needs are growing, and when there's a demand for it, of course, there's going to be more agents, and they might be under the spotlight. Maybe we see more of them, but every industry that you actually look closer, there's more people in those different industries. It's just that we see the real estate agents a bit more; they're more visible. Correct. So just on the differences that you bring to the table, what is that?
First of all, again, goes back to my agency. What sets us apart is that we're number one LJ hooker in the whole Victoria and Tasmania. That itself explains our dedication and the fact that we're actually working hard to win that award. It's not a small title to give to any agency. It's saying that you're the best agency within the whole Tasmania and Victoria. And that being said, we only started... the office started in 2019. Again, that shows that our agency is really working hard to earn, obviously they're earning right now, and that title of best agency. And what sets me personally apart is if I see something that could be improved in your house, or if I see that something I could help you out, I'll say it straight to you. I do not filter anything out. I do not obviously, sugarcoating what I'm saying. Every time I go to any appraisals, first thing I'll tell them is, I'll be very honest with you. It might hurt, you might not like it, but I'd rather be honest and remember what I said, rather than obviously going back to the office, be like, what did I actually say? What was wrong? And I, lied to you. And then obviously remembering what you said is much harder, because I'm dealing with 10 people, 20 people in a day, and actually remembering what I actually told them it's hard. So if you say the truth, you don't need to remember it. And that's something everybody in the industry should do. But then again, business is business. You have your own way of obviously winning it, and I've got my own way of winning my business. So one thing I always tell everybody is, you might not like what I say, but it's just the truth. So it might hurt, but it's good for you to know. And that's what everybody likes about me, or I find out that people like it about me, is that I say the truth. Might hurt, as I said, but it's again the truth. And also is that, as I said, I am new to the industry. So, and I'm younger than most of the obviously agents. So again, people kind of like this spirit that I have. I go very bubbly. I don't go just for the business. There's sometimes that I'll be sitting in an appraisal for 1.5 hour, 2 hours, just chatting with the husband and wife just about how their day has been going, rather than just going inside. Okay, this is the authority, this is the charges. Would you like to sign, yes or no? And then I get out. No, I actually go there, sit down with the mind of actually getting to know the person as a person rather than as a business. So I go in, I have a chat with them, obviously ask how their day was, and then gradually obviously take a look at the house and then see what is there to improve in order for them to obviously get the best deal they can.
Mm-hmm.
And then introducing the business, just letting them know what I do, what my agency does, and then they have a choice of obviously deciding whether they want to go forward or not. If they don't go forward, I still stay in touch with them. Again, just asking how they are, just asking how I can help them, even if they've gone with another agency. People have preferences. You can't really force something into them.
Yeah.
And then if they really see that you're really there just to help them out and not actually taking the house from them and just getting your part or your pay out of it and not actually caring about the person, again, that makes them kind of, hold back and not want to actually communicate with you or not want to connect with you. So if you really go with the open mind of just helping the person, again, that sets you apart. And that's what I think sets me apart from people, because I don't just go there for the business, I've got people that sometimes I see when I go shopping with my mom. Most of Afghans, obviously, we all go to Dandi Market. I see my vendors or tenants. I stand, I say hi to them. I see if you need help, I can obviously help you to their car. I'm not saying everybody has to, go to their tenants or landlords, be like, do you want help? Yeah, do you want to do that? But then it's again that one step that other people don't take.
Yeah.
It's giving that wow factor that other people don't do. So that's what sets me apart. I do what other people wouldn't do or wouldn't think. It's of agencies, there is a lot of agents, but not many of them are actually here because of the passion. Most of them are actually here for the title that gives them. If you say, let's say a mom goes to a mehmani and they're like, Bachem, real estate agent, and everybody's like, wow, then your house is paid off. You don't have to worry about anything. You know, everybody comes with that mind.
Yeah.
Again, going back to, is there a lot of agents? Yes, there is. Is every single one of them here for the passion? No, they're not.
Yeah.
That's what I've realized.
And I think it's probably not just for Afghans, more broadly in the real estate.
Yeah.
All real estate agents, because I was reading some interesting stats that about 87% of real estate agents in the US, for example, are actually failing or not doing well. It's only the 13%, and unfortunately, that ruins the reputation of those 13% agents as well, because people often deal with the 87%, right? So, and it's a reflective of the success rate amongst the real estate agents in our community too. There's only a few of them that are doing really well.
Yeah.
And a lot of them that probably come in the industry, try it for a while, realize that it's not really as easy as it seems from outside.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like you said, there's so much that goes into it. But I think in Qissa, I personally have believed that for those that I feel like I've got a keen eye in terms of seeing certain people that I think have that potential, and it's important to follow that story along. So hopefully, maybe in a few years' time, where you've made a name for yourself at the national level, we'll have you back on the podcast and reflect on this conversation.
Yeah. I'll be more than happy to come back fully when I actually get that name out there.
and there's a lot of amazing real estate agents from our community that we will at some point have on the pod as well. But it's like I said, it's not really about it's having those that have made it to tell people about how they made it, but it's also about those that have that vision, that mission, that want to work towards it, and so we can follow that story along, I guess, right? Another point that I wanted to talk about, I think, is the personal brand amongst real estate agents. And I think it's more of a business pitching idea, and it's not just real estate, because a lot of businesses nowadays want to have a face, and that's how they see people resonate with their work. And when you see your face, you can build trust, and you can easily resonate with people. But personally, I feel like sometimes maybe amongst some real estate agents it gets too much, and this is my personal opinion, and I want to get your take on it as well. For instance, I'm not going to name names, but there's certain, I've gone to certain events where someone is pitching their business, and it's all about them and their friend, them having a barbecue with their family at a park, and the fact that they've got a family, they've got a wife and a child and amazing cars. But I'm like, do you forget that you're selling a house? Or it's like, the reason that I guess a lot of people are promoting themselves rather than the business or what they're doing. Where do you think that comes from?
Again, with real estate, because we're dealing with people's biggest assets, sometimes a house is worth 2 million, 3 million, or 700K. That's a lot of money you were dealing with. So I think in that term of people actually selling themselves and their personality is to build that trust. Because if I come to you and tell you, okay, I work for a really good agency, we earn this much money, you might wanna come with me. But then if I'm very rude and I'm very ignorant and I come up to you and I'm like, oh, you want to sell your house with me? Well, I work with this type of agency. I make this much amount of money and I don't really care if you want to come with me or not because I've got enough clients. You wouldn't connect with me. Whereas if I come sit with you and actually ask you, okay, how is your days? How many kids do you have? Are you married? Are you not married? Oh, well, I live with my parents. How about you? Then we build that connection. So it's all about connecting as people rather than connecting just for business. And that goes back to what I said at the start, is that what sets me apart is that I talk about you rather than your house alone. And what now agents are doing is that coming to events and having a chat with their client, they start talking about the client and themselves rather than the business. So then it's not that aggressive, and it doesn't sound like you're just here again for the business. We all know real estate is about business. At the end of the day, we are here to obviously get that trust from you to sell that house. But then I think we should take it a step further, where you actually look at the person as a person and see their needs. So then you can really get an idea of why they're selling the house, how you can help them. And that way, once somebody trusts you, then business comes by itself. So I think it is a good thing to like obviously sell yourself as a person, maybe minus all the I drive this type of a car, or I live at this much amount money house, you know, my house is worth, I don't know, $100 million, maybe not that, but then again, showing the fact that you actually care about your community helps you build that trust.
And I think also there's so much more that you could do to show your personality, who you are. If it's about building trust, and it's about connecting with the community so people can resonate with you as a person and trust that you can sell the house for them. Of course, you need to come across as someone that's doing well yourself.
Exactly.
If you're dealing with houses that are millions of dollars worth. But there could be more, for example, if I was an agent, I would come and talk about the property market, what's doing well, what's not doing well, education materials, come on, Qissa, talk to our audience. And I wanted to maybe we could do this bit in Farsi. What do you think?
Sure, not a problem.
امی چالش‌هایی را که چون امی جامعه ما شما در استرالیا ملبورن در منطقه دندرونگ بیشتر شما فعالیت میکنین و مهاجرین از هموطنان ما شما خیلی زیاد اینجا آمده رایی است و زیاد شده رایی است در روز. خانه کرا گرفتن یک چالشی جدی است برای اکثر وطندارای تازه. از جمله خوار خودم مثلا ما خواستیم خانه کرا بگیریم، شاید 20 تا اینسپکشن رفتیم، شاید 10 تا اپلیکیشن انداختیم و موفق نشدیم. امی فکر میکنین برای یک کسی که ممکنه می کلیپ یا ویدیو رو ببینه و در استرالیا و ملبورن تازه آمده، چی مشوره دارین برای اینکه خانه زودتر که بتونن پیدا کنن برای کرایه؟
چیزی که ما وقتی یک نفر برای خانه اپلای میکنه چند چیز است که ما ویسلی سایل میکنیم که یک نفر داره یا نه. اول از همه که هیستوری داشته باشه، یعنی قبلا از یک ایجنسی یا از املاکی یا که به قول هموطنای ما چی میگن از یک جای املاکی یا کلمش یادم رفت، پراپرتی خانه گرفته باشه قبلا،
یا راهنمای معاملات،
همون کلمش میگشتم، راهنما خانه قبلا گرفته باشه. چون همه ما میدونیم استرالیا based on history یک نفر است. یک نفر اول سایل میکنن که آیا مثلا ای آقا یا ای خانم قبلا کرایه نشین خوبی بوده، جنجالی بوده، یا ای که مثلا کرایه خود سر تایم پی میکرده، یا که مثلا بلک لیست نشده باشه، یعنی که مثلا از بس که خرابکاری کرده باشن بخی در یک لیست مونده باشن که دزی دیگه خانه نتین.
یک لیست هم هست؟
بله. there's obviously lists, blacklisting. tenant هایی که مثلا بسیار جنجالی هستن یا که بسیار دمیج کردن، خانه رو خرابی کردن، در یک لیست میمونن که باز میگن don't give a house to them، دزی خانه نتین، because then you'll be obviously facing a lot of problems. یک الان problem میاد in the future که دزی خانه بتین. again چون ما ایجنسی خودمون بیشتر افغانی هستیم، 90% ما افغانی است، افغانی ها بیشتر در آفیس ما میان و کمک میخواین. again من همین رو دایشون میگم که اگر خودتون تازه در استرالیا آمدین و یکی هیستوری یا که لجر ندارین، یک نفر که در استرالیا زندگی کرده باشه گارانتور شما میشه. گارانتور یعنی یک نفری که گارانتی میکنه، ضمانت میکنه که اگر این شخص، این خانم یا ای آقا کرایه خود پی نکنه از حساب بنده بدین، یا اگر اینی هر مشکلی پیش بیاد ما مثلا در گردن میگیرم. بیشتری همین کارا میکنن. مثلا برای خواهر خودتان اگر شما مثلا دنبال خانه میگشتین، ای آپشن بود که شما گارانتورشان شوین. باز اونا کاری که میکنن یکی در هیستوری شما رو چک میکنن. شما اگر خانه از ایجنسی گرفته باشین، سوال میکنن که شما چه رقم کرایه نشین بودین، آیا کرایه خود پی میکردین، آیا جنجالی بودین، یا که کدا شما آسان رفت آمد مثلا دیل کردن آسان بوده، چطور بوده. that way میتونن خانه رو سکیور کنن. باز یک چیز مهمی دیگه هم هست که بتونن خانه را افورد بکنن. پیمنت که میگیرن مثلا مقصد که کار میکنن، بتونن درآمدشون بتونن می رنتشون را کاور بکنن، یعنی رنتشون را بتونن پی کنن. مثلا یک نفر اگر ماهی 1000 میگیره، خانه 2000 نمیتونه بگیره. باز امی اپلیکیشن هایی که اینا انجام میدن اتوماتیکلی خودش نشان میده. امی پیسلیپ هایی که اینا آپلود میکنن فلیپ میشه، نوشته میشه چند فیصد امی پیمنت اینا در سمت رنت میره. و اگر بالای 30% باشه اکسپت نمیشن.
بالای
30% که باشه اکسپت نمیشن. چون مثلا یک پدری که 4 اولاد داشته باشه، خودش و خانومش باشه، obviously پیسه خرج 4 نفر دیگر میده به علاوه خودش. و اینکه اینجی مریضی میه، پول شکمشان میه، اسکول میه و می انشورنس موتر، یک عالم چیزاست که باید سعی کنن آیا یک نفر میتونه بعد از خرج زندگی خودش خرج یک خانه رو بده. باز پرابلم ما افغانی ها است که اگر خانه کلان نباشه، اگر خانه ما از خانه مادر فلانی بهتر نباشه، من نمیگیرم. باز همین پرابلم میگن میاد، چون خانه‌های بسیار های اند ما میخوایم، اسپشیالی واسه کسایی که تازه میان. ما چندان فامیلی خودمان هلپ کرده بودیم که تازه آمده بودن، سنتلینگ میگرفتن. هرچی میگم خاله جانی خانه برای شما اوکی است، شما مثلا 4 نفر هستین، 4 اتاق است، 1 سالن داره. البته باز میگن نه، ما اگر بچیم خانه میمان به مرتکار ما کجا وانم، یا اگر
2 سالن داشته
باشه 2 سالن داشته باشه. بازم باید امی قومای ما همین چیزا باید فکر کنن. اگر خانه 2 سالن داشته باشه پیمندش بالاتره. اگر افورت نمیتونی بکنی یا که امی درآمدی که داری کاور نمیکنه، obviously ایجنسی دیتون نمیدن. چون در آخر روز که است صاحب خانه قد از رو بروست، شما قد ما رو برو هستین. اگر مثلا شما صاحب خانه باشین و ما ایجنت و مثلا یک نفر دیگه پی خود نده، کرایه خود پی نکنه، شما مرا میگیرین. او پیسه ما کجاست؟ مثلا 3 روز شده دیر شده، why is it not here? So again باید افورت بتونن بکنن. یک نفر باشه، اگر خودشون هیستوری نداشته باشن یک نفر دیگه کاورشون بکنه. و اینکه فقط ریزنبل باشین، فکر کنید که چقدر خانه میتونن افورت کنید، اما قصد به قول معروف توقع داشته باشین.
اگر که بعضی وقتا چند ماه پیشگاهی اگر بخواین کرایه بتونم کمک میکنه برای گرفتن خانه.
بله، برای اینکه اپلیکیشن خود بوست بکنن، اگر همین لجر چیزی است که نشان میده چقدر کرایه پی میکنن و چه دیتی، چه تاریخای کرایه رو پی میکنن. و در زی لجر نوشته میشه اگر شما لیت باشین در زو کورنرش نوشته میشه که مثلا شهلا کریمی 4 روز در تاریخ مارچ 4 روز کرایه خود دیر پی کرده. و اگر مثلا قرارداد شما 1 سال باشه، در 12 ماه شما 11 ماه هر ماه دیر باشین، obviously ما به عنوان یک املاکی همین فکر میکنیم که شما زیاد نفر مسئولیت پذیری نیستین. یعنی که در قصه رنت نیستین، و رنت شد خیر است، 1-2 روز دیگه صاحب کارم در افغانستان است، اوورسیز رفته پیسه من نداده، it's okay. but again صاحب خانه فکر نمیکنه. اگر شما همون لجرتون اوکی باشه، لجرتون خوب باشه، تننت هیستوری شما، یعنی همون برگی که نشان میده شما قبلا خانه گرفته چه رقم تننت بودین، هموش اوکی باشه، that's all good. باز اگر شما obviously pay بکنین up front یک ماه 2 ماه، صاحب خانه خوش میشه. The more money the happier the landlord is. هرچی بیشتر شما up front pay کنید it boosts your application. باز بعضی وقتا همی هست که اگر خانه یک نفر خیلی خوش داشته باشه، باز اکسترا پی میکنم. مثلا اگر این خانه 550 باشه، نفر میگم من 560 در ماه میتونم. بازم مو اگین بنفیت در سمت صاحب خانه است، یک چیز پلاس برای صاحب خانه است. اوبویسلی صاحب خانه میگم من کدی نفر میرم، چون هم بیشتر پی میکنه، هم که اوبویسلی زیادتر پی میکنه، هم که اپ فرانت پی میکنه. اون هم باز اپلیکیشن رو بوست میکنه. but sometimes دستش که یک نفر میگه من 6 ماه رو پی میکنم ولی ما اکسپت نمیکنیم چون لجرش خراب است. باز یک نفرم امو کرایه 550 رو میده، آپ فرانت هم پی نمیکنه، هیچ چیز خاصی انجام نمیده، فقط بک‌گراند چکش و کلا لجر چیزایش جور است. obviously ما قراره که شما تا 1 سال دیگه در ارتباط باشیم، گپ بزنیم، خانه رو کرایه میدیم، باید ما در شما تراست بکنیم و امو اگر لجرتون اوکی باشه it's all good. باز اگر دلت خواسته مثلا بگی ما
شانس خود
بالاتر بکنی، اگر افورت میکنی 100% you can do it, it's up to you. That's benefit for us because باز ما شما رو از پشتتان نمیامی کرایه خودت رو خدا پی کنید، کرایه خدا پی کنید، کرایه خدا پی کنید. That's a less work for us and then صاحب خانم secure است که مثلا برای 6 ماه دیگه ما پیمنت ما already آمده دیگه I don't have to chase my tenant پیسه ما میتی یا نه.
مو اپلیکیشن هایی که در شما میه با شما شورت لیست میکنین، شورت لیست شبر لندلورد دان میکنین، تصمیم میگیرین.
بله ها اپلیکیشن اول میریم که بک‌گراند چکش اوکی باشه، اگر افورت بتونه first thing سایل میکنیم اموجی یک کلان سرخ یا که سبز میه affordability اگر بالای 30% باشه 37% باشه اورنج میشه. we can consider it but again اگر یک نفر که گرین باشه در بالای مثلا 5% 5% 10% باشه obviously I'll push that one forward تا که یمو 30% 40%. اگر دیگه از 30% بال بره سرخ میشه خب کلان میزنه not acceptable. قبل از اینکه ما اپلیکیشن شما رو باز کنیم دازو کورنر کلان میزنه they can't afford it, not acceptable, unsuccessful and then ما دازو کورنر unfortunately باید بزنیم کل چیز شما اوکی است you can't afford it application is good مقصد rejected. باز اگه زنگ میاد چرا از ما reject شده and then we have to really politely tell them you can't afford it. It's just as simple as that. You can't afford it. باز بعضی هستن cash in hand میگیرن. امی افغانیای ما خب تکس نمیخواین بدن cash in hand. Again no problem میاره because نوشتن نمیکنن. And then I can't tell. یک نفر میگه ما پیسه زیاد دارم. There was this time where this grandpa came to our office. با من میگه بچهش ما چیز ندارم. I don't have a background. ما سنتلینگ میگیرم. مقصد ما خودم زیاد پیسه دارم بچه. ما زیاد پیسه دارم. I'm like okay it's all good. باز میگم I need to see که شما یا پیسه دارین یا نه. مثلا من میتونم برم در یک بانک بگم like to a dealership ما زیاد I have a lot of money give me the car. Obviously they're not going to accept it.
با بایگ خود نموده بایگ کش.
Unfortunately نامد دیگه. باز procedure این است که ما اجازه نداریم کش بگیریم. قبلا بود you can get cash in hand میدادن ما در صاحب خانه میدادیم. Now it's that rule is you can't have any sort of cash in the office. باز آمده با من میگه I have a lot of money بچه من یک عالم پیسه دارم امیال تا آخر سالم پی میکنم. and I'm like اپلیکیشن خدا بانین اپلیکیشن ماند زده I'm pensioned ما اجازه کار ندارم ما خانم از من نگهداری میکنه یک نرس دیگه 2 روز در هفته میه مرا مثلا تر خشک میکنن. I'm like عالی ما چه رقم دستی صاحب خانه بگم که طرف یک عالم پیسه داره مقصد you know it's all cash. So again cash in hand makes a problem. But then sometimes صاحب خانه از خودشان تننت میارن تمام میتونن منیج میکنن مثلا تننت خودم میارن they like they get cash please accept it but then again it has to go through that procedure of که در اکانتت برد that باز در اکانت ما بیفته. ای هستش که صاحب خانه تننت خودم میارن and ما در کرایه‌نشینای دیگه میگیم unfortunately از شما ریجکت شده به خاطر اینکه صاحب خانه کرایه‌نشین خود آورده. کسی ما رو باور نمیکنه ولی اتفاق میفته که خود صاحب خانه تننت میاره و میگه مثلا این قومای ما است تمزیف بدین باز شما منیج بکنید ولی it has to go to this specific person. ده حاجی باید برای مرا در زمانهای پیش کمک کرده this and that and we have to give it because صاحب خانه است صاحب خانه است exactly صاحب خانه صاحب خانه است.
دیمند فکر میکنین که از سپلای که خیلی بالاتر است فعلا؟
در روز عادی حداقل 8-9 خانواده میاد آفیس ما it's bare minimum 8-9 نفر میاد. باز خانه که میاد sometimes اصلا در مارکت نرفته و میره. امیالی مثلا اگه دمزی لیست رنتال ما برین خانه وجود نداره چون تا که نماده بنده خدا فشو میره وقت رفته. مثلا میاد تننت هایی که می در لیست ما داریم باز در اونا زنگ میزنیم do you need a house obviously اونا میگن من لازم دارم خانه رو میبریم دمزو اول یا دوم انسپکشن میره. But then some houses the market میمونه چون صاحب خانه it's an unrealistic price that they give. But then به خاطر اینکه خانه از اوناست باز باید انجام بدیم. باز demand at the moment is crazy. باز یک نفر که خانه مثلا خانه کرایه ده یک نفر میره نه 10 نفر. باز اونایی که خانه نمیگیرن بسیار اعصاب خراب میشه and they like ما خانه لازم داریم ما در هتل زندگی میکنیم this and that. کمک خودم ما میکنیم. مقصد خانه آنقدر مارکت نیست که مردم که میان کلشان تا خانه ها برن.
فقط دمی دندرانگ هم مشکل است یا کلاس دارن ملبورن؟
در کل ملبورن بسیار در حال حاضر مهاجر زیاد میه، از اوورسیز میه، باز از دیگه شهرهای دیگه میه در سمت ملبورن بکاز گرانی شده. در دیگه کشور ما خودم می چند وقت پیش در سیدنی بلده یک کنفرانس رفته بودم. باورتان نشه در 4 روز 6,000 خرج شد. Just crazy. Everywhere else it's really expensive. در ملبورن کس باز خانه prices are okay. قیمتایشان اوکی است. باز از سیدنی especially I've had a lot of tenants که از سیدنی میان. سیدنی ادلاید خب باز ریزه است. سیدنی گران است.
ادلاید هم شنیدم خیلی خانه گرفتن.
خانه سخت شده. باز سیدنی گران است. ادلاید عالی خانه ها مردم امو نفرایی که در ادلاید زندگی میکنن در زور خانه پیدا میکنن. پرت که هستش میگن اونجا تشتی است. هر کس با نداره در سمت ملبورن میه. باز unfortunately ما قصد خانه نداریم که در تورنتو بتیم. So yeah, demand is crazy. Especially امی افغانی های خودمان. There's a lot of people overseas میان باز میگن ما خالم آمده ما مامایم آمده خانه بتیم.
امروز رفته دو میدان هوایی هر 5 دقیقه می دیگه خانواده
افغانی میه بالا.
هر دفعه که رفتیم چند خانواده.
Exactly همون تقمه است. باز ماشاءالله ما افغانی‌ها کم جمعیت هم نیستیم. هر خانواده 7 نفر است. باز دیگه just finding house بسیار سخت میشه در حال حاضر.
کمتر حداقل 4 اتاق باید داشته باشه. بسیار خوب. Well, it's great. I think we might wrap it up with that.
Sure,
if do you have any final message to the audience? Anyone out there?
Not really. Just again, be easy on real estate agents. Again, we try to help you guys as much as we can, but again, sometimes things might not go the way you want.
Yeah.
So just please take it easy on us.
Yeah.
Not every one of us have that heart of actually listening to you guys go on and abuse us every day.
بدکار به نظرم دیل کردید امروز.
I mean, دیروز this guy came and he was really mad at me because I was 10 minutes late to the inspection because I got caught up with another landlord. بسیار اعصابا خراب بود. So just trying to tell to everybody that's seeing this, go easy on us please. ما هر تا جایی که میتونیم بهتون کمک میکنیم but then sometimes زندگی اما تقریبا که شما میخواین اتفاق نمیفته. So just go easy on us. We'll try to help you and just be nice. That way your chance goes high. Not that we favorite anybody, but then again, just be nice. Just be easy to deal with. And then everything will go the way you want. And just have a bit of patience again as well. Yeah, just
awesome.
those. Cool.
That's great. Amazing. Thank you so much for coming on the pod. I'm sure we'll talk again at some point in the future.
Not a problem. Thank you so much for having me again. And again, sorry I talked a lot. But I just wanted to make sure I cover everything
that was awesome.
that's important. Again, thank you so much for having me. Inshallah, we'll have another session again in the future again together.
Awesome. Why not?
Thank you so much. تشکر از داشتن من.
Thank you.
تشکر.